And we're live! Hello everybody, my name is Zach Gelfin, your half-dressed host for this short-form Instagram live content series, what have you. We've been going on 8 weeks, that's 2 months. That's 2 months too long in my opinion, honestly. Well, you know, I have fun here. But today is a very special day. Last week we had quite a fun, raucous time doing the interdimensional edition of And We're Live. But this week I thought we'd ground ourselves just a little bit, keep it a little grounded on this rock that we call Earth. That's right, today is the international edition of And We're Live. We're going to be going all around the globe, seeing all sorts of news, culture, happenings, and hijinks from all sorts of characters and news sources about what's going on in the world. How are people doing in other countries? You know, what's happening? But first, I want to start with a new segment. It's a little game that we here like to call, Who Published That? Yeah, we have some very bad sound effects here, but you can look that one up on Spotify. It's called Brass Bell Hit version 3. So I'm going to pump the volume up so you can hear that one again. Oh. That's wrong. Brass Bell Hit version 3. Check it out on Spotify. All right, everybody. So the way this little segment works, it's actually a game, and it's going to involve all of you guys. This is a game where I'm going to show you all real headlines of what's happening. My dad's watching, and he's also recording the screen. Dad, stop commenting from my account because the screen recording will see you commenting. My mom also did that one time. They're so good at technology, and I love them both. Anyway, the way this game is going to work is I'm going to show you guys a very real headline, and it's not going to have the news source on it, but it will be a news source that you know of. And I'm going to let you guys in the comments decide, or really just submit your answers to what the news headline is. So we're going to start with this one, and it's actually about AOC. If you know AOC, here's a headline. AOC is sharing pairs with randoms on Animal Crossing because this is who we are now. Yeah, this is a very real article about a very real representative in the House of Representatives of our U.S. government. And it's about Animal Crossing, and it's about sharing pairs with randoms. Now, if you don't know what Animal Crossing is, it is a video game where you play a person who builds a little village, from building houses to planting pears to fishing. It's very relaxing, and you can visit other people's villages or islands. So AOC is campaigning in a way and making little stops on people's islands in a way that she cannot do at the moment. So, yes, Devolsky, thank you for saying that we are friends. We have Ryan's Baked Goods say it's tasty. Oh, everybody's saying it's BuzzFeed. I'm going to tell you what, guys, it is an easier one because I think we can all infer how terribly clickbaity it is. Yes, indeed, it is BuzzFeed News. Yes, BuzzFeed News, the network that leaves you saying, are you sure about that? Moving on to our second headline in this game, we are going to a funny headline coming out from an Australian artist. 50 Cent is a little bit of a hip-hop beef after an artist who is making murals of him as other celebrities is gaining traction. So an Australian artist has been painting these funny murals of him. So let me know what news publication you think this is from. Just for more context on this, here are some other murals this man has created. Here he is as Tekashi. This is 50 Cent as Tekashi. Here he is as, I believe, Mao Zedong. We have Insider, New York Post. Sorry, guys, those are not wrong. Those are wrong. Fox News, Huffington. Those are all wrong. Those are all wrong. And then we have, of course, 50 Cent as Donald Trump. Not to be forgotten is 50 Cent as Mike Pence, or as the artist puts it, 50 pence, which I guess is almost a British version of that. So you all guessed with TMZ, you're close, Adina. You're very close. But the answer is actually a British publication, the drunken stepbrother to Barstool Sports. It's Unilad, everybody. Unilad has put this out. Much more of an internet content site than a news source, so I can't say I'm too upset about this, especially because it's not really news. It's just very funny. But we're going to keep moving on to our third headline. Oh, quick shout out to Brendan Lee for this headline. Thanks for being the news hound there. We're going to our third headline, which is also courtesy of a viewer, Abby Easton, with this headline. Yeah, we've got here a very interesting headline. Super constipated Florida lizard breaks record with gargantuan poop. Yep, this is a real headline. This is a real headline. And the thing that disappoints me the most about it is that this is going to be the hardest of all the three, not just in terms of guessabilities, but in terms of the respect you're about to lose for the publication that put this out. So let's see what we've got. Kevin just says it's Florida. Oh, Billy says it's the Florida governor's Twitter. I think that could totally be, that would actually be more respectful. Oren says New York Times. And Abby, who's the one who submitted this headline, is right. It is indeed the Smithsonian Magazine, everybody. This is Smithsonian. The ones who make the museums are the ones talking to us about record-breaking constipation poops, gargantuan poops. Now, I want to give a shout-out to this lizard who she ended up being put down because the poop was giving her such pain. She was dissected, and they now are studying the lump of poop, which, as you can see in that sub-headline, is an unfortunate diet of pizza grease and sand. Really, really quite terrible. But that was fun. Oh, you know what that sound means. Yep, that's the sound of a 2003 Skoda Octavia, which means that it's time to head to the international headlines. All right, everybody. So like I said, this is an international episode. We're going to tackle some headlines from around the globe, and we're going to start close to the equator in Venezuela. So let me pull up that headline. In Venezuela, here it is. In Venezuela, U.S. denies acting against Venezuela's Maduro, says would have been overt. So a lot's happening in Venezuela. Let me talk a little bit about the history leading up to this. So the U.S. and Maduro's fate seem to be a lot more entangled than anybody really wants to admit. So what happened this last week was there was a bit of almost an attempted coup, if you will, at Maduro's seat, because there's been a lot of controversy over him. And he alleged that it was the U.S. Now, this isn't the first time Maduro has come up on this show. Apt-eared listeners will recognize the name and remember that a few weeks ago we reported that Maduro had been charged with drug trafficking charges here in New York State. Now, it's not every day that a New York or a Manhattan court, in any case, can just go ahead and say, hey, we want to arrest a president. Of course, we'd all wish that was the case a little more, but it's not every day that is the case. So now Venezuela is kind of fighting back. They're not happy with the U.S., and they believe that attempted coup was of the U.S.'s doing. But that's not really what interests me about this article. What interests me is the brazen response that the U.S. National Security Council gave to this allegation. And here is the tweet that they tweeted out in response to this. The U.S. government had nothing to do with recent events alleged in Venezuela. Claims to the contrary are not credible. If this had been a U.S. planned operation as claimed by Maduro, who's been indicted on narco-terrorism charges, they watch the show, it would have been overt, direct, and effective. Yes, because we know that if there's anything true about U.S. planned operations, is that they are overt, direct, and effective in creating more U.S. planned operations. So, great job, National Security Council, hitting the nail on the head. Now we move over to Eastern Europe, the sad Midwest of the world, to Belarus. And here we are in Belarus. I believe this is it. Yes, Belarus. Shunning virus lockdown, defiant Belarus stages Victory Day parade. Belarus is coming for the crown, America. I'm sorry, Minnesota, but I got to give this one to Belarus. They came out on a Victory Day parade in tanks, touting bazookas. They've won. I mean, they even managed to upset Vladimir Putin, one-upping Russia by holding the parade when Russia, for the first time in its life, smartly decided not to hold a parade for the safety of its people. Now, I'm not saying that Minnesotans or, or those angry, very silly US people should go around and start toting anti-air missiles or whatever, but, game's got to respect game. So shout out to Belarus. And now we go to a Belarusian neighbor, Slovakia, with some good news. Slovakia records no new coronavirus cases for the first time since March 10th. You know what? Good on you, Slovakia. They're the hottest ticket right now, and honestly, if you're looking for a late summer destination, Slovakia is your place to go. And if, you want to move there, now might even be the time. We at the And We're Live Studios thought about moving our studios to Slovakia just because it might smooth out operations a little more. And, we actually thought about going to Street Easy and doing that, but you know what? The deals just weren't the same. As you can see here, this is what Street Easy had for us. I will say it's 300 euros, but I just don't think it has the bones we're looking for. I don't think it does. Alrighty. So that's it for right now for the international headlines. Let me take this off here. Next, I want to talk a little bit about celebrating the culture of an international world. Right now, there's really no better way to celebrate internationalism than learning a new language in your own home, bringing some of that culture in. In fact, Polygon reports that Duolingo, the language learning app, says its downloads have doubled in the month of March alone. So, here to talk a little bit more. Yes, Julia, that was an Airbnb. Here to talk a little bit more about Duolingo, the app, is Duet, a woman addicted to learning French on Duolingo. Welcome to the show, Duet. Duet, everybody, Duet. Do you like the French music?
What? I can't hear it.
Did you like the French music?
I guess. Hi.
Duet, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, of course, of course. So you're quarantined and you're picking up French, that's right?
Oui, oui.
I know that. Oui is yes, of course, correct?
Yeah.
So, I've heard a lot about Duolingo, but I've never downloaded it and I've never used it. So I was hoping you could tell us a little bit more about the popular app.
Oh my God, of course. Okay, so Duolingo is an app where you can learn French. Sorry, I was practicing my French accent. But yeah, it's an app and you can learn French and you can learn a whole bunch of different languages. Duo knows like 12 languages. So, but I'm only learning French. I'm not only strictly dickly, I'm strictly Frenchy. So, yeah. But yeah, you can learn different languages. You can learn different languages on the app, and it's really cool. And it's a free version, and there's a paid version too.
Gotcha. Okay, great. So it's a great language learning app. Sounds like a great way to spend quarantine. And you mentioned this Duo. He's the mascot of the app, right?
Oh yeah, it's totally his app. He totally owns the app. His name is Duo. He's an owl, and we kind of hit it off. Like, yeah, he's really smart. Like I said, he knows all these languages, and I love him.
Oh, okay, that's adorable. He's that's good. That's good brand loyalty, I suppose. So what kind of French has this owl Duo taught you?
Oh my God, he's taught me so many things. Let me tell you. Okay, so one of the phrases he said was like, "I'm a head out," and that's like, "Je suis à la tête." You know, I'm head out and get leave. And then another phrase he taught me was all these damn dishes, which is tous ces fichus plats. Tous ces fichus plats. Yeah. And then another app is I keep eating, which is je continue de manger. Yeah, I know I keep eating, Duo, I know. And then another one he taught me is s'il vous plaît, monsieur. Please wax me.
Oh,
Yeah, so
oh
all
God.
that, Duo taught me all of that.
Sorry. So this is the introduction level of Duolingo. Duo the Owl has taught you the. I'm sorry. It's just it feels a little unorthodox to like start learning a language with those phrases. How
Well,
exactly does the
Duo really cares, you know? And so he wants me to learn things that are like advanced. And, you know, some people start off with girl, like la fille, or like boy, like garçon. But he's giving me these phrases that are going to like get me far in life. And I think they're like really contributing to our relationship. Duo.
Okay, again,
I'm
I just
so
want to go back to this.
nervous.
You keep saying that you are in a relationship with the owl. I just want to talk about that a little bit more. Like how long when you say you're in a relationship, it means you're like using the app, right? So like how long have you been using the app?
Well, actually, today is our 50-day anniversary. So, like, uh, it's because we have a 50-day streak. So, I started 50 days ago. So, it's our 50-day anniversary. And he told me today, this morning, like through email, that it was our 50-day anniversary.
Okay. So are you two celebrating?
Well, yeah, we mostly celebrate like really late at night. Um, like I our relationship is always like maybe like after midnight, you know, like never in the daytime. But I'm not like a side chick or anything. It's just that that's when I have enough time. That's when I have time for him, like at night. So yeah, so but he texts me throughout the day and he's just like, you know, don't let your 50 streak go down, you know, you have new hearts, you have new this, come back on the app. So he's always trying to get me to come, you know, be with him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just want to say I'm not saying you're a side chick in this at all. I am honestly quite surprised you're considering yourself in a relationship with an animated owl. But I still do want to learn a little bit more about Duolingo. You said there was a paid version, and you mentioned there are these hearts and sort of things.
Oh,
How do
yeah.
all those trans?
So basically on Duolingo, like every time you complete a lesson, you can win a treasure chest. Duo is giving me money because he gives me money in the treasure chest. And this is great because I don't have a job right now and the government isn't giving us money. So I've got to get money from somewhere, right? So Duo gives money in a treasure chest. And with this money, you get it every time you complete a lesson. And you can either buy him clothes with the money or you can buy more hearts because every time you get an answer wrong, you lose a heart. And if you get 0 hearts, then you can't do any more lessons. So he tries to get you to, you know, like use the money to buy hearts or use the money to buy him clothes or stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This relationship seems like a little unhealthy to me. I don't know if you feel that.
No, why would you say that? Like he's giving me money to buy him stuff.
Okay. Well, Duet, you know what? Why don't you just tell us, do you have any other little French you want to sprinkle in for the viewers? Because I am very
Um,
confused about this.
well, I I think you know, I don't know what to say. Like La Chouette is owl, like that's duo, and I'm duet now, and we're gonna be together for a long time. And you know, like cuckoo is
Your
cuckoo
duet.
in French and in English, so cuckoo.
Wow. I just did you say your duet now, or have you not always been duet?
No, my real name is Beth.
Oh, did did you change your name for Duo the Animated Owl?
Of course. Why wouldn't I? You think duo and Beth sound good together? No, duo and duet sounds great together.
You know what? I can't argue with you there, and I have so many more questions that I'm not sure we even have time for.
It's okay.
uh,
It's actually, you know what? He's texting me right now. So I should go. Like I should really go. Okay?
okay, Duet or Beth or whoever you are, thank you so much for coming on the show. Enjoy
Au
your owl.
revoir. Bonne
Au
nuit.
revoir. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Well, everybody, Duet or Beth, the girl who is very obsessed, I'd say, very addicted to Duolingo, the voice learning app. This is a quick shout out. She reminds me of something that New York State is offering. Actually, not a joke, just a nice reminder. Headspace and New York have partnered up to give you free mini meditation sessions, 5 to 15 minutes, I think they are. But if you're feeling stressed or feeling that you are being gaslighted by an animated owl and just not there fully, then head to headspace.com/NY. Again, headspace.com/NY. Free meditation sessions for all of your meditating needs. Ooh, we seem to have a lot of nut jobs come on this show, but you know what? We're going to keep this show rolling. We have a couple more headlines for you guys. I want to jump to the UK with this next headline for some other fun, cute, good news. That's right, some funny stuff happening today. Baby penguins at an English zoo named after hospitals. There are a bunch of baby penguins that were just born at the Chester Zoo, named after 5 hospitals or doctors and whatever. So the baby penguins are first Florence, after Florence Nightingale. Second, Thomas, after St. Thomas's Hospital. Third, Bevan, after famed Anurin Bevan, founder of the NHS. Arrow, after the Arrow Park Hospital. And finally, the 5th penguin, after a controversial People's Choice vote on Twitter, is named Arkham, after the Arkham Asylum. There he is. There's a picture of that cutie little penguin. All right, what a dumb bit, but I loved it. I loved it so much. Well, everybody, in UK news, continuing with that, we're going to go back to Reuters for a very quick headline about the EU in general. Germany has seen an increased risk of, or has sees an increased risk of a hard Brexit if Britain refuses the deadline. So if you remember in January, Britain left the EU and things were going as smooth as they could, until that little island that could decided that it didn't really want to play the game that its negotiators and partners were playing. And so now things are getting a little hairy in the Eurozone. But here to talk more about Germany, the German feelings on this, and general German atmosphere is none other than Germans' attractive answer to Conan O'Brien. It's Mannheim Tootlingen. Welcome to the show, Mannheim. Mannheim, welcome to the show.
Hello, Zachary. Thank you for having me.
Mannheim, it is so good to see you. It's great to see you. Right off the bat, I want to get your opinion. What do you think about the whole Eurozone Brexit situation happening?
Oh, well, it seems a little dangerous, like they already have the reputation for bad teeth. So if they're so isolated and there's a lot of inbreeding happening, I'm worried about their dental health. As my father would probably say, they're a bunch of morons.
Well, I think a lot of the world agrees with you and your father here. Do the actions by the British surprise you?
No, not at all. They are very standoffish people. They like to be alone.
Mm-hmm. That coming from a German, I'm honestly surprised. I don't want to harp too much on the Brits because I feel like we all know the answer to these. But do you think you're gonna miss having the UK in the Eurozone?
Not really.
In the Union?
Nope.
Well, we'll leave it at that then. Great. So, Mannheim, I have been a big fan of yours for a while. You are a famed German icon, celebrity, talk show host. You've done it all, really. And I'm just curious, how are you doing now? You're back in Germany. How are things going?
I'm all right, pretty good. Just hanging tough here in my little cottage. I live, in a little town right on the outskirts of the Black Forest.
Oh, well, that's great. That honestly sounds quite idyllic. And how have you been spending your days out in the cottage?
Oh, a lot of nature walks, bike rides, picking berries, rescuing squirrels.
Oh, rescuing squirrels. It seems. Is there like a natural predator in the Black Forest?
No, 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 you would just be surprised how many baby squirrels fall out of trees.
Mm, I honestly would be. We have a question from the audience. Do the cakes really grow on trees in the Black Forest for Mannheim?
Oh, if you're lucky and you eat one of the, how do you say, magical mushrooms, then yeah.
Oh, Mannheim has had some fun in the Black Forest. We can tell. You can say that. I feel like the Grimm brothers probably also took a trip there. It would make sense how they got their tales.
My ancestors.
I want to go back to the squirrels. Do you have a specific affinity to the squirrels? I don't know many people that would necessarily rescue squirrels.
Oh, I love squirrels so much because squirrels saved my life.
A squirrel saved your life. Please tell us the details of that.
When I was a little kid, I was going for a little bike ride around the lake and I fell over and I injured my arm really badly, a lot of bleeding, a lot of gushing of the
Oh,
blood. I probably would have died if not for a family of squirrels. They sat on my arm and they applied pressure until one of the neighbors, they found me and they said, "What the hell is wrong with you? Get back on your bike and go to the hospital."
oh my God. That's that's honestly a miracle. I can see why you're so attached to squirrels. I don't even know if a dog would do that for its owner. That's truly a miracle. I feel honored that you're even here with us today.
I am like the Selena Kyle of squirrels.
Mm. I actually don't even understand the reference, but I'm gonna not say yes on that one.
Catwoman.
Speaking of,
Catwoman.
oh, there you go. Yeah, I made the Batman joke earlier. You know what? Speaking of references, you are a treasure trove of 80s references. And it's almost like you know more about American pop culture in the 80s than most Americans that were born here. What is it about the 80s that you love so much?
I think it was there's a certain joy to it that I didn't know growing up in Germany so much. My babysitter, she reared me on these movies. One of my first films that I've ever seen, the posters behind my head. You say Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I say Mach Blau.
Mhm.
But I'm German, so I'm very unfamiliar with this day off concept. So this movie really spoke to me. Some of the world opened up my eyes.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, an instant classic. And I can see how, other cultures might see that as really the true embodiment of Western culture in the United States, taking a day off, playing hooky. And I'm glad that's translated. So earlier in the show, we learned a little French. I was hoping we could maybe get some German phrases from you. So this could be a real educational program.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So a phrase probably a lot of people want to say right now while we're all in quarantine is Ich vermisse euch alle. It means I miss you all.
Oh, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. Yeah. Ich vermisse. What is
Euch,
it again?
euch
Euch
alle.
allen. Alle. All right.
Those,
Well, yeah, that's great. Any others?
there's another one that I've been saying a lot lately. Hör ich das Liedchen klingen.
Which
That
is
means when I hear the bells ring, because there's a bell tower maybe about 300 kilometers from my cottage. And
mhm.
that's when it's time to wake up, time to eat, time to sleep, time to eat, time to sleep, time to eat, time to sleep, and then drinking.
Ah, the weekend comes for all. Well, that's so lovely that you live in one of those kind of idyllic old town European towns with they still got the bell tower where they still have somebody going up knocking on it.
Yeah, there's a hairy little man. I think his name is Ute.
Uta. Ah, interesting. A sort of tragic Hunchback of Notre Dame scenario happening in the town outside the Black Forest. um, Now, I want to talk about, we spoke a little bit about your affinity for the 80s, and, the people know that you are a German celebrity and icon, but I'm not sure that everybody is as familiar with your grand catalog of music. I know, can you start us off by telling us a little bit about your famed sax quartet? Because that's how I got to know you.
Yeah, so my house band on the shows that I host, it's called Late Nacht with Mannheim Tuttlingen. They are the Black Forest Saxophone Quartet. So there's soprano, alto, tenor, and the big guy, baritone saxophone.
Mm. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I myself play the alto saxophone. So this is why I'm a very big fan. Indeed,
Oh,
indeed. And curious, I'm curious what is it about the saxophone that draws you so much so that you have only 4 instruments on stage and they're all saxophone?
there's something so erotic about a saxophone. It's very sensual. There's a lot of tickling up and down.
Indeed. Yeah, it's partially phallic. It's very close to the word sexy. I very much understand like why that is. Do you have any favorite saxophonists?
Oh, so many. Clarence Clemens. Oh, those luscious locks.
Oh,
Also very good hair.
oh, oh, fantastic! All probably the top 3 most famous saxophone players of all time, I'd say. And man, I'm wondering, as we get near to the end of the program, are there any? Is there a chance? Is there a chance we might be gifted by a little performance? Gifted with a little performance. I know you don't have the full quartet, but is there something maybe you can do for us?
You're lucky I prepared for this because I am German. So I'm just going to set up myself a little bit back here. Can you see me clearly? Okay.
I can see and hear you.
All right. We're going to do a little trip back in time. Get in my DeLorean, you son.
He has his 80s references.
Bob love is a curious thing.
Oh, can people not hear? Mannheim, can you hear me? Can people hear me? Oh no, we've lost Mannheim. Can people hear me? People can't hear you. My grandmother with a classic singer, Lederhausen. Well, it looks like we lost this sound on Mannheim. I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm going to keep enjoying his movements here. Oh, please, like, watch me as we hear in our heads The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, sung by a German dad with the zest and verve that can only be accomplished from loving the 1980s. He's truly killing it. Oh, yes. And he's jamming out. This is truly the father. Maybe I should sing with him. I don't know where he is. That's the power of love. That's the power of love. I'm not sure how that part goes. Oh, Mannheim, he's gonna be so disappointed when he realizes that people can't hear him. It'll be it'll be very sad. I wonder if he can even see us. Oh, we got a little back action, and he's got all sorts of overalls or whatever, those suspenders. Nick says, this is exactly what I needed and didn't even know it. Lip sync Zach. Okay, let me try to bad lip read. That's the power of love. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Don't need money. That's a different song. Don't need fame, I think. Don't need a credit card to ride your name. On the glow. That's the power of love. Yes, the big finish. Yes, Mannheim. Yes, Mannheim. My dad is throwing props. I don't need them. I don't want them. He's high out of his mind. Yes, Mannheim. Put the elbows in. Yes. Shimmy, shimmy like there's no tomorrow or no audio. That's what we want to see. Give us the performance we can't hear. Oh, we'll get the lighters out. Oh, there it is. Mannheim truly delivering soul. So much soul we didn't know a German could even have. Soul that Germans have for decades said they didn't, proven they didn't exist. And there he is, out of sight. Amazing. Mannheim, I don't know if you can hear me, but we lost that. We're going to say bye to Mannheim. It's been a pleasure, a pleasure, a pleasure. Now, everybody, thanks for sticking with us. We're going to, please check out Mannheim's other work. I swear to you, he has such amazing music videos and all sorts of funny moves. You could check it out at timgerback.com. And thank you to Mannheim Tutenlingen, played by Tim Gerback. Please check him out in the post below. I tagged him. Thank you to Duet, played by Natonia Monet. Check her out. Also in the post, and once Broadway comes back, you can see her in Tina Turner the Musical, so go and see her in that. She plays Tina's sister. She does a fantastic job doing so. And we want to thank everybody for watching these shows. It's been a great 8 weeks. We're going to take a break next week, but we will be back, and I believe that is the 23rd, is the Saturday after that, with a Bravo-themed Watch What Happens, and we're live with Chris Chinesi and Eric Long. So we'll see you then. Everybody have a great night. Be well. And das vidanya, I think. Bye now.